Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto Sextile or Trine one's natal south node. Now, this transit may manifest in power, control, transformation, passion, desire, probing. This could be in harmony with what you're going away from, what you're leaving behind in the past. And I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What this is, this could be a very positive time, or it could be very auspicious if, let's say, if, let's say, for example, if there was a controlling situation, um, in your life, if you were under, someone's auspices, or whether it was at a job or at your home, that could be actually a time where I call it negative power. It's really over somebody because it's power over you. It could be a positive time for that, or if there was a controlling situation, that could apply as well. And it could also be a time where you put where you have more passion, desire for doing things with someone from your past. If you have your natal south node in Gemini, it may be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or one that simply embodies those characteristics of Gemini. Or you could be somebody that's just very loquacious, verbose, versatile, multifaceted. As an example, it could be as well when this transit takes place. Again, it can be more of having Pluto being connected with passion and desire, having that passion, desire, to leave behind something, that could be affecting you to your detriment, whether it could be a job, a home situation, it could be a connection with somebody. If you have say, the South Node is in Aries in the 7th house, it could be a contentious or acrimonious relationship or marriage. As an example, it could be having power, more power over that negativity as well, being able to do something about it, having the control and the resources to do so. It can be a time also where if you're getting support in those matters, and so if there's something in your life that is affecting you to your detriment, it can be a very auspicious time for moral, emotional, or monetary support in this. And the thing about this too, it's also a time, and keep in mind, the South Node, is associated with the overdeveloped and redundant qualities. So it's a time where you may be able to control that a little bit, more so than usual. If you have your natal South Node in Virgo, like I do, it could be over analyzing, to the point where it doesn't even need analysis. It's like trying to find the Dwad within the Dwad. And when you're doing a astrology chart analysis, as an example. And it can be a time as well where if you're it's a time to be able to balance, say, Plutonian things and things that are associated with the South Node. If you're making some major change or transformation in your life, as an example, it can be a time to be able to do that, and also be able to deal with matters that are pertaining to the South Node, whether it's something that could be affecting you to your detriment in your life, or could simply be doing something you're naturally proficient in. If you have, say if you have your natal South Node in Aquarius, right, it could be where you might have some natural talent or be naturally proficient in astrology or computers or innovation, astronomy. Could even be aviation or meteorology as some examples. And this is where, if you have, the transit Pluto, making the sextile or trine aspect to it, it could be a very positive time for having, just that right amount of passion and desire for doing those things at that time. And some people may wonder, well, what's the difference between this transit and the transit of Pluto making a conjunction to the natal South Node? Well, The transits are comparable, but they're not really exactly or entirely the same. The conjunction is more integrating and intensifying, and when you have the transit of Pluto, if it's making a conjunction aspect to the natal south node, it can be more obsessive. It can be a point where you become very obsessed, and fixated with matters connected with the south node, in contrast to the sextile or trine, where that's more about simply having just general good passion and desire to do things that are associated with the south node placement. Now it's also a time where I would say people that are in Plutonian people. It could be someone you're simply in an intimate relationship or shared resources scenario with, or it could be somebody that's in a Plutonian profession, such as somebody that's in the cult, which includes astrology or insurance, taxes, recycling, forensics, or investigation. These people may be more really in harmony with those, really those things that you might have a natural talent or ability for, that you're naturally proficient in at this time. And it can also be a time as well where it's also about having, again, talking about Pluto being connected with passion, desire, having that passion, desire to deal with the real negative manifestation of the sign, of the placement of the south node. And going back to the south node in Aries as an example, it could be an overly aggressive or abrupt and forceful, maybe combative type of personality. The south node is an Aquarius. It could be the expression of being very rebellious or non-conforming. It could be someone that just wants to be non-conforming just for the sake of not conforming with what would seem conventional or orthodox. It's like doing many things in an unorthodox manner when it doesn't even have to be done that way, as some examples. And again, it's also just a very good time for having the power and control to be able to leave behind things at this time that are affecting you in a negative manner. And it's a time as well where I would say people that are from your past, people in the south node, could be people from your early education, it could be people from your early childhood, and these people could actually be beneficial to you in doing Plutonian things, whether it's making a major change or transformation in your life, or dealing with a crisis, or maybe even be involved in a shared resource situation, or being there for you for moral, emotional, or monetary support, insurance or tax related matters, as some examples. So I mean, this is a time where the transit can really be very very auspicious for that. So anyway, it's also a time, another way this transit may manifest is that could be positive for having, again, that passion, that desire, which is Pluto, to get away from something that could be affecting you to your detriment, reiterating what I was saying before. And that's and what could be affecting you to your detriment could, of course, be the south node. Now, if the south node is in Gemini in the 11th house as an example, it could be a person that might be dissipating the self, which is Gemini, in matters of goals and aspirations, which is the 11th house. It could simply be spreading yourself too thin and dissipating yourself through lack of a unifying or integrating purpose. And it can be a time where you have that passion, desire to get away from that. Now, it could also be expressed, this transit, in being auspicious to get support, which is Pluto. Again, to leave behind the negative manifestation of the south node placement. Now, let's say if the south node is in Sagittarius as an example, it could be very reckless, tactless, self-righteous, foolhardy, traits. If it's in the south node in Sagittarius in the 5th house as an example, it could be somebody that's recklessly gambles, takes a lot of chances, in that, and maybe it's affecting the person to their detriment. And also, too, this could be a time where Pluto-related people, when I say Pluto-related people, talking about people that could be in Plutonian professions, such as some people are in the occult, which includes astrology or insurance, taxes, um, forensics, investigation, recycling, insurance as some examples, or someone you may be in an intimate relationship or shared resources situation with. Those people can be in more harmony and agreement with what you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now let's say, for example, if the natal South Node is in Capricorn in the 6th house, it could be what you're naturally proficient in. Could be just having a structure, discipline, taking responsibility, which is Capricorn, in employment, and even just the daily routine in general. This transit could also be propitious for control, which is Pluto, in matters that are connected with people from your past, which is the South Node. Now, if the South Node is in Cancer, it could be Cancerian Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or one that embodies those traits. It could be someone who's very nurturing, protective, dedicated, tenacious, even emotional. It could even be somebody that was moody, or somewhat moody, fickle, and temperamental, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.